Hi, how's everyone? Please bear with me, I don't do a lot of presentations, so just be kind. All right, who here likes to talk about death? Nobody? What about wills? Do you like to talk about wills? No? Has anybody thought about their digital legacy? No one likes to talk about death. I know that. But we're all going to die. But we're not here to talk about dying. We're here to talk about what's left behind. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rob Lind. I'm here to speak to you about digital legacy. Up until a few months ago, I worked for SCI, otherwise known as Dignity Memorial. Dignity Memorial owns the largest chain of funeral homes and cemeteries in the world. My job was to teach funeral directors how to live stream funerals, as well as working with them to develop their digital offerings. In the past, families would sometimes visit their ancestors' grave sites on holidays and special dates to remember and to grieve for them. Over time, that practice has declined. One reason is the growing popularity of cremation rather than burial. It's estimated by 2030, cremation will make over 70% of body disposal. Another is the broad decline in religion. In 2007, Pew Research estimated 77% of the US population identified as Christians. By 2018, that number dropped to 65%. 2007, 17% of the population identified as religiously unaffiliated. By 2018, that went up to 26%. So, if grave sites are no longer going to be the place to remember your ancestors, one solution is to move that remembrance to the internet or convert to digital format for safekeeping. In order to be able to help your family have that space to remember, as well as ensuring your digital assets are handled in a way you would want, you will need to talk about your digital legacy. What is digital legacy? As our society becomes more digital-centric, we do most of our work, creation, recording, record-keeping, communications, all on computers. But what happens to that information when we pass? While almost all of us have some sort of digital presence, whether that be banking, cryptocurrency, blogs, web pages, digital media, or any other form of digital assets, very few of us have thought what to do with this digital information after you pass on. You may want to have some of it deleted. You may want to have some of it preserved. You may want to pass some on to family and friends. Your digital estate plan is the guideline on how you would want those digital assets handled to preserve your digital legacy. Why does it matter? By preserving your digital legacy, you will be allowing your family to retain all your digital-based memories and assets. Whether they're photographs, home videos, audio recordings, written work, music, or artwork, they can all be stored in a central location for anyone you designate to view. This will be the place for your family and friends to visit, to grieve, to remember, to share stories, and to mourn. It can provide access to a chosen recipient so they can get into your financial accounts, such as banking or brokerage. It will protect your legacy from identity fraud and unauthorized access. And if you're a creative, you can preserve your digital work, whether that be blog, music, artwork, or any other digital creation. For those that haven't transitioned to digital record keeping, now's a good time to do it. You may also find online financial management tools, such as Rocket Money or Monarch, a good way to get all of your financial data in one place. To me, this is one of the most important steps. Having it all together allows your inheritors to have it all in front of them. They don't have to go searching for accounts, they don't have to go searching for information. It's all right there. And they know exactly what you want done with it. For any important documents that your family may require or you want to pass on, you can consider scanning them and adding them to your digital collection. Marriage licenses, diplomas, certificates, awards, business license, and government documents are just some of the examples of the paperwork you may want to add. I'm not suggesting everybody go out and buy a scanner. Don't do that. There are many software apps on your iPhone or your Android phone that uses the camera to scan documents. Some of them also have optical character recognition, which is the ability for the software to actually read the document, and then that way that document becomes fully searchable. You can search for things within a document. Personally, I use an app on my iPhone called Genius Scan. I've been using it for a few years. I have all the scans going back to 2016 saved on the cloud via the app. Two of the features I really like are automatic edge detection, and it has a full set of filters to improve the clarity of the scans. It can output the scans as PDFs, and it can connect multiple scans for multi-page PDFs. Now that you have everything collected, you need to find a place to store it. There are many options for file and document storage, so here are some of the important features you should look for. First and foremost, you need to decide what level of security you need for your data. While in transit, you will want to protect your data from hackers using end-to-end encryption. Look for sites that have RSA or AES 256 encryption. AES 256 is currently used by the National Security Agency, and it's commonly referred to as military-grade encryption. For those who aren't familiar, encryption is like a lockbox. The stronger the encryption, the stronger the box. As with any lock, you need a key to open it. These are digital keys rather than a physical key. You need that key to open the file and decrypt it. One thing to consider is who holds that key. So not only is the encryption important, but if you want to have absolute security, you need to hold your own keys. If the company holds the keys, they can access your data without your knowledge or without your permission. And it does happen. You should find a site that's easy to use. Look for sharing options that allow you to choose who can access the data as well as how you want it shared. For example, you can set up a share that is time limited or one that requires a password to download or to open. The next step is to collect and organize all your accounts. Make sure to list the usernames, passwords, and multi-factor authorization if you use it. Once you have collected all the accounts, it's a good idea to organize them. You may want to standardize your multi-factor authorization. For example, using a single MFA manager, such as Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator. It also may be easier to list all the accounts in a password manager, such as NordPass or 1Password. When you're looking at password managers, try to find one that connects to your browser. That way you can save any new credentials and supply you with the old credentials for the websites you're already using. Since the majority of your accounts will be through a web browser, it's a lifesaver. Many of those programs will also allow you to share the passwords with your smartphone, so it just makes it all easier. In that list of accounts, make sure to include your email, social media, retailers, banking, investments, cryptocurrency, and streaming accounts. This will give you the opportunity to go through your accounts and close the ones that you don't need. Once you have the accounts organized and documented, the next step is to appoint a digital executor. It's a good idea to choose somebody who is already digital savvy, such as a child or grandchild. Then prepare a list of what you would like done with each one of the assets, such as closing and deleting the account, downloading the digital asset, moving them to a central location so they can be accessed and stored. For platforms that offer it, you can have your digital executor memorialize a page for you. A memorialized account is secured, preventing unauthorized logins. Sensitive information like contact information is removed. The timeline posts are changed to tribute posts, And a remembering message is displayed above the person's name, and it allows family and friends to share memories, creating a digital space for remembrance. Many funeral homes also create videos with photos supplied by the family that they play at the services. Some also offer the ability to record or live stream their funeral. You may want to ask your digital executive to add those videos to your digital collection. This allows families and friends that were unable to attend your services to participate and to mourn. Everybody depressed yet? I'm not doing a good job if you're not depressed. It's a good idea to include your digital assets along with the digital executor in your will. Along with the will, include instructions for locating all the digital assets you collected, as well as their disposal. While we're on the subject of wills, to inform your family of your passing, you may want to put together a list of whom should be contacted, what order they should be contacted, and how they can be reached. Again, just making things easier for the people that you leave behind. Finally, if you're leaving a partner, it's a good idea to create a to-do list of all the daily chores that you do. For example, in my household, my wife handles all the insurance. So she would leave me a list of policies, account numbers, and whom to contact. Since I pay the bills, I would leave her a list of monthly bills and when they're due. When my wife and I began to prepare our digital legacies, the first thing we did was prepay for our cremations. We then had wills prepared, changed our investments to joint accounts, and only do that if you assume you trust your partner. Having them as joint accounts allows you consistent access to the funds. We use Apple products in my house, so the built-in password manager collects all the passwords. She can, if necessary, access my iPhone to get a list of all my passwords, and vice versa. All of our important documents are scanned and stored in an online site, which the passwords for are included in my iPhone. And don't forget to update this on a regular basis. There we go. One of your decisions will be how to deal with your online accounts. If you're an Apple user, you can take advantage of the Legacy Contact program. You'll designate a legacy contact and give their information to Apple. Apple will provide them with a digital key that identifies them as the legacy contact. Once you've passed, the legacy contact can reach out to Apple with a copy of your death certificate. Apple then will provide them access to all of your data for up to 3 years, after which it will all be permanently deleted. This will allow them time to download and move your assets to a permanent spot. Remember, your Apple account is not only emails and messages, but it also includes any apps, music, movies, or books that you purchase through Apple. Android works a little differently. Like Apple, Google asks you to designate a person to become the contact after you pass. If Google doesn't see any activity on your account for 90 days, they will notify that pre-designated person. That person, after submitting a death certificate, will then be allowed access to all of the Google products. Like Apple, this will include any movies, music, or books that you purchase through the Google Play Store. Facebook offers the option of memorializing a page. You can assign a legacy contact with Facebook. That person will be responsible for your Facebook account after your passing. They simply need to request memorialization from Facebook along with a copy of your death certificate. Facebook will then turn the page into a memorial page, allowing family and friends the ability to post memories and messages. It can be a great place to store photos, videos, but remember, whatever you put on there is viewable for everyone. If you don't want people to see it, don't put it on Facebook. While most people use social media to house memorial pages, there are many commercial options, both paid and free. Honestly, looking at many of the paid options, I don't see them offering much more than the free options. The main advantage of a paid solution is privacy. They're also apt to be operating longer than the free options. Personally, I took all of our digital assets and I divided them into two piles. One pile was for photographs, videos, recordings, and digital remembrances. These digital remembrances will be able to be viewed when I pass, and I put them all on Facebook. The second pile was for finances, personal items, and anything else that is not for public display. That pile will require higher security, so I placed it on Dropbox. With Dropbox, I'm utilizing both end-to-end encryption as well as multi-factor authentication. When it comes to the free options, remember the internet adage. This is important. If the product is free, you are the product. What does that mean? That means if the product is free, you're going to get advertising, and they're going to send your name and information to mailing lists, marketing companies, and whoever else they can sell it to. Here's an example of a commercial solution.
Life is precious. We plan for so much, but what about ensuring peace of mind for those we leave behind? Organizing important documents, financial details, and digital assets can feel overwhelming. Introducing HandleMyAffairs.com, your secure, compassionate solution. Easily upload all vital documents, information, and even passwords into one protected place. Our state-of-the-art encryption keeps your sensitive data safe. Designate a trusted loved one or person who, upon your passing, gains secure access to everything. This spares them the burden of searching during a difficult time. It's about leaving a legacy of care, not confusion. Secure your legacy. Protect your loved ones. Visit HandleMyAffairs.com today. HandleMyAffairs.com, peace of mind simplified.
Technology changes at lightning speeds, so it's difficult to foresee everything on the horizon. But here's a few things that many agree are coming. Advancements in AI have made it possible to create a digital version of yourself that will act and respond as if they were you. Your digital legacy can be harvested and processed to train that AI. Once completed, your friends and family can chat and reminisce along with the AI. Governments are currently scrambling to update and clarify inheritance laws to deal with all these digital assets. In the future, digital assets will be tagged and secured through the use of blockchain. In the future, funerals will be held in VR space rather than a funeral home, or in a combination of the two. AI is already writing obituaries in many cases. That role will expand, with some looking to allow AI funeral planning. Here's an example of an AI funeral planning software.
Hello, my name is Shayla, and this video was fully generated with the help of the artificial intelligence. Navigating the complexities of funeral arrangements can be overwhelming, but with Crowdy's AI chatbot, we make it easier and more compassionate. AI chatbots can help coordinate the process of making appointments for consultations, completing paperwork, and ordering additional services. This simplifies organizational aspects and makes interaction with clients more convenient and efficient. The use of chatbots in the funeral services industry may seem unusual, but it offers significant benefits, making it easier for customers to interact with funeral directors during difficult and emotional times. Contact Crowdy to hear more on our solution.
I want to point out that video, there's nothing real in it. That entire video, the person, the visuals, and the voice were all created by AI. This is an example of AI being used as a chatbot, similar to what I talked about before, about chatting with your dead relatives.
Imagine having a conversation with your loved ones after they've passed away. Well, now you can.
How did becoming a grandparent change you?
It brought immense joy into my life.
But instead of going through a psychic medium, people are getting a helping hand from artificial intelligence.
This is the authentic you. This is the video that you created, and now you're making that accessible by means of conversation for the future.
Stephen Smith is the founder and CEO of StoryFile, a program using state-of-the-art AI technology to help people connect with their relatives and friends even after they've departed.
100 years from now, and you're the great-great-great-grandparent of this person who wants to know who you are.
StoryFile lets anyone digitally record their answers to dozens of questions, which are then loaded into the program. Artificial intelligence does the rest, searching the archive of answers and playing the correct response when asked a question.
What was your hometown like?
It's so small compared to the bustling place of England.
Smith had his own mother complete a StoryFile session before her passing back in June and maintains the AI software never falsifies a person's responses.
We do use artificial intelligence, but it's not for creating new content or putting words into your mouth.
Meanwhile, StoryFile can also be used for the living. Officials say the original idea was to let people learn more about historical figures' real-life stories, including those of 9/11 survivors. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
Scary, huh? All right, so you want to get started. Start by listing all your digital accounts, noting usernames, passwords, and MFA if applicable. Identify a digital executor or legacy contact. Discuss with your family how your digital assets are to be disposed of. Once you have an idea of how you want to proceed, it's a good idea to consult an estate planner or lawyer just to make sure that there are no legal implications. The United States is kind of behind the curve in modern death care, but there is some great information that comes out of the European Union. I recommend that everyone look at the Digital Legacy Association. They have many resources, training guides I think you'll find useful, as well as digitallegacymanagement.com, which gives you step-by-step guides, as well as helpful links. And that's what I have. I'm sure you have questions. Okay, yeah. Sure. Yes. Cal will send out copies of the presentation, and we will have a copy of the video also available for viewing. Copies of my what? My notes? I only have one copy. Anybody else? Yes. That's a good question, because that is something that no one can predict. Having two is a good idea. I would leave it up to your digital executor to be able to move the stuff. If he finds out that Dropbox, for example, is going out of business, they can move the stuff to Google, or they can move the stuff to any number of other sites. There are a ton of these sites that are available to store it on. So it's just a matter of moving it. Yes. Yes. I'm not sure. I believe it's a legal requirement. They have to give you like 30 or 60 days notice. Yes.
So is the digital executive title, is that individual, like, does it fall under the broader executor of your estate? So what's the authority versus the executive?
From a legal standpoint, there's no such thing as a digital executor. It's not a legal term. It's not a legal position. For our purposes, the way I'd like to think about it is they are the executor for everything digital. So whatever I leave digital, that executor will handle. Whatever I leave in physical, I have a different executor who's handling it.
So I'm just trying to figure, I mean, obviously a lot of financial accounts would be, you know, people access them digitally, they may have survivors or identify, maybe go to a trust, all those kinds of things. So those would be, like, all, your digital executor would not be involved.
No, you're talking about stuff that's outside of his purview. I mean, stuff that if you're leaving like a brokerage account to your family, that's going to be handled by your executor. If you leave a bunch of videos, that's going to be handled by your digital executor. So it really depends on what we're talking about. Yes?
Do we need to update our trust people to know that we've got additional stuff going on?
Okay. I should point out that I am not a lawyer. I have never played one on TV, and I don't know. I would say yes. I mean, my gut would tell me that yes, you want to update and keep it updated.
Every time my children come to visit, I always show them where my safe is, and I show them where the black and white notebook is, the marble notebook.
Perfect.
It has everything written in. But are you saying I should scan that information?
Listen, if you have a physical copy and you're happy with that, and your family knows where it is and how to get to it,
Passwords are there, every Yahoo phone.
you have a you have an analog version of the digital accounts.
Okay.
So
All right.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh,
The important thing with all of this is the family knowing what's there and how to get to it. That's the bottom line. Whether that's done in a notebook, or that's done on a file, or that's done on the internet, or that's done from whatever. Yes? Dropbox is an online storage place. They rent you, it's not selling you, they rent you space on their server, and you can store whatever you want on their server. Yes?
So is the Digital Legacy Association.org, if you get involved with that, is there a cost involved?
I don't believe so. You're not going to, mainly you're going to get off those websites is guides, step-by-step instructions, things like that. As far as I know, there's no charge for any of that stuff. Yes?
You said you use Genius Scan.
Yes?
Does that have OCR?
Yes, it does.
And is there a cost?
If you want the OCR, yes. If you want the basic version, which doesn't have OCR, then no. OCR is optical character recognition. It's the ability for the software to actually read the document and know what is in the document, rather than just looking at the title. Yes? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll do that, sure. Yes?
We have a lot of photos and videos going back years that are on SmugMug.
They're on what?
SmugMug.
SmugMug. Okay.
Oh. It's a commercial site. Renews once a year on credit card. Photographers use it. I'm not a photographer, but it's good image quality. That's why I like it. It occurs to me that should I pass on to my great reward, I've got to leave information about how to get into it,
Mhm.
password is all and that stuff.
Yep.
When I'm gone, my credit card at some point is going to be gone.
Yes.
And they're just going to pull the plug on all that data if nobody.
Well, you'd have to put those instructions into your estate plan, your digital estate plan, but they can just switch over the credit card usually and just take over the account.
Also occurs to me, might be a good idea to have a backup. Is there a free website or service, Amazon or Microsoft, anyone
I'm sorry, I forgot to repeat the question.
Google Photos, put it there.
He's asking about where to place photos and videos and things like that. I'm sure Cal's going to tell you Picasa or Google Photos. Did they change it to Google Photos, Picasa?
Google Photos is the service.
Okay.
Picasa used to be the service.
Oh, they changed the name? Yeah, I don't use them, so I don't keep up on it. No, that's, you know, it really, I mean, it really doesn't matter where you use it or where you store it. The important part, again, is your family knowing how to get to it, what's there, and how they can, you know, partake of it.
Can I give you an example? So with Google Photos, can everybody hear me without the mic? No. Okay. So with Google Photos, particularly with this topic, you get 15 gig of space for free. So Google Photos is 15 gig for free. They have what's called a free share. So you can add as many people to that share with the same amount of space as you want, and it doesn't cost you anything. So that's why we're recommending it for this purpose. As far as the scanning, same thing. Google Drive, which is part of Google Photos, is free. It's free, and it also has OCR for free. So that's why we've been recommending it everywhere. Not that it's the best of the best, but it's very good, and it's something you might want to consider as part of your digital legacy, is you can share that with family members, and when you pass, they automatically take ownership of that content. So, okay, sorry.
I mean, what do my family, for example, is we have a family photo bin, and everybody contributes to it. I contribute, my brother contributes, his kids contribute, my wife contributes, my parents contribute, everybody contributes to this one photo bin. And then we all have access to it. So when I pass, they will still have access to it, and they will be able to access all of those photos and videos. Yes? I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Okay, she's asking that her husband passed a couple years ago. She's asking about how to deal with the accounts that he left behind. What I would do is I would get first contact the funeral home, get copies of the death certificate if you don't already have it. You usually need originals for these people. They don't like copies. Now, normally when you deal with a funeral home, you can request it, at that point, you can request as many copies of the death certificate as you need. And it's common for people to get 10, 12 copies. Then take those copies and start sending them out. Send one to Google, send one to Apple, send one to whatever other, LinkedIn, whatever other accounts you're using, and asking them to either memorialize or delete. There's no real reason for a LinkedIn account, for example. I mean, I don't think, there's no reason for it. It's business networking. Oh, okay. No, that's true. That's true. I didn't think of that, to be honest with you. No, I've had a friend's wife that did the same thing with his Facebook page. She didn't even know about the memorialization. She just kept the Facebook page open and operating. And all the people that went to his Facebook page to wish him a happy birthday, Merry Christmas, all this stuff, got a message back saying, oh, he's dead. Yes, you can. I'm sorry? Yeah, absolutely. No. You need the certificate. She's asking, she doesn't need she was asking about closing account. You need the certificate necessarily to close the account. You don't. If you are closing the account. If I go to close the account, they won't let me.
Well, what if your what if your
Won't let them. There's too much identity fraud going on in the world today. There's too many times when people get on the phone. How does Google know that it's your spouse?
How would they know it's me?
They know it's you because you have the passwords, you have the
Oh, but if I have all the passwords.
if you have the passwords, you can delete it yourself. Absolutely. If you have all that information. If you don't have that information, that's when you send a death certificate to Apple or to Google or to all these places. Anything else? Okay, thank you.